so excited. I have my power tools back. So that means that I'm getting to work. We're doing a little carpentry work today, adding a couple of shelves to our cupboards. When you live in an RV, maximizing space is so important. So I've got some space in here with these cupboards. You can see my pantry's a mess right now because I don't have enough shelves. So I'm going to add a shelf up top here, and then I may add a little shelf down here as well. But in this other area, see right here, I'm going to go ahead and add a shelf or two because that is where I'm putting my pans, and there's plenty of space for one shelf, if not two. Then we come over here, and I may go ahead and add a shelf there, but for now, the most important thing is getting this cabinet and this cabinet right here shelved out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with some what I would call furring strips, and these are basically just 1 by 1.5 inch strips that I'm going to use to secure the shelves in place. Rather, that means is we need to take some measurements. Point 20, but we're going to go ahead and cut it down to 19. And then we're just going to go 19. There's plenty of room on each side. And this side actually is going to be less because so that is going to be 16. So we got 19 on one, so we got 19 on one side and 16 on the other. Now for the upper cabinets, they're sitting at 23, and the reason I say 23 is I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I just want like a 1/2 inch on each side left. So that's what we're looking at, both bottom and top for these, 23 inches. So bottom 19 and 16, and the other one is, and the top one is, measure one more time, measure twice, cut once, 23. So 19 on one side, 16 on the other. Let's go get safety first. Make sure you have something to protect your eyes. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is raise our saw blade. I'm a big proponent of unplugging, as you well know. So we're going to unplug first, raise our saw blade because we know what we need. And as you can see where this is going, that means that our front is here, okay, because that's the back side. So we're going to go ahead, turn this. So I want to be able to get a good cut on it without having to worry. So I'm going to be like this, cutting today. Not my favorite position because it's a little higher up than what I would like, but right now, given my circumstances, I'm just going to work with it. Okay, so then we go ahead and plug back in. Remember, measure twice, cut once. Okay, we know we want one to be 19. This is going to be a little different than my normal chop saw, also known as a miter saw, because I'm going to be cutting this way instead of down. Not my favorite thing, but again, it's what we're working with. So I'm going to give you this angle here so you can see exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay, so turn on. Saw that pop back a little bit to me. This is why the angle that I'm using, not the best. You always want your saw down a little lower so that you can operate down on it, not up. Okay, this is my 23 one. As you notice, that went a lot smoother. So you just want to go ahead and gently push it through whenever you're using a table saw. By the way, this is a table saw. It's It's a portable table saw. It's fabulous to have. There are 2 saws, well, 3 saws that you should definitely, there's so many saws actually you should have, but a table saw for me is an absolute must, and my compound miter saw, so my chop saw also, absolutely very important. A lot of people, of course, also use a circular saw. I'm going to be getting a new circular saw. Those I don't use as often because just the pop back and just so much can happen with a circular saw that I'm really careful working with those. And then there's sawzalls. There's just all different types, and I actually probably need to have an episode of just that. Okay, let's go and install what we've got. So if you're doing it right, it's a very, very smooth cut, as you saw. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm literally just setting the screws so that it'll be easier for me to screw the whole piece in without struggling trying to get a screw to stay in place. You just go down until it grabs. That's it. So now that it's grabbed, now I don't have to worry about it falling, okay? And we don't want it to fall. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead. And now the trick is going to be same thing that I'm doing here, using my actual oil bottles as my measuring tool so that I don't have lopsided shelves. I don't want lopsided shelves. Nobody wants lopsided shelves, right? Okay, that's a little awkward from this side because I am right-handed. So now what I'm going to do is, even though I'm right-handed, I'm going to go ahead and screw these in with my left hand, and hopefully I won't break my wrist in the process. All right, so get your screw head in. There you go. Next, we're setting the bottom one, and I'm going down almost halfway. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to leave a little room to pull things out, because there is a 2-inch gap here, so I need to be able to pull things out. So I don't want to go all the way too far down. Now, what I also want to show you again is how you set your screws. Okay, it makes it so much easier when you do this. Okay, because you're not struggling to try and play with the screw to get the screw in. So all you do is go ahead and get your screw on there where you want it, on your piece of wood, on your wood, wherever you want it. Okay, and then just put that here so you can see. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to, what I call setting the screw. You get the screw in there. Now look, it's in, and I don't have to worry about struggling with it. Now, see what I'm actually doing. I already have one screw in the middle set in. Screw. Do this one. Okay, that's done. And now the third one. There we go. Now that's nice and secure right there. Now what I'm doing is I'm measuring from the top to the bottom to see how much I have, and I have like 12 and 12 and a half basically. Yep, 12 and a half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to mark 12 and a half because that is where I am going to put that is where the top of my other one, my other side, is going to go. Now, you can get hooks to put these in. You can get little, you can get little shelf hooks if you want, but I wanted to do it this way. It just seemed like it was just easier for me. Okay, now this mark is the top of where my brace is going to sit. Right there. The fun part is get to screw it in with my left hand, left-handed, because it's kind of hard to screw it in right-handed. But I'm gonna have to do this the other way, 'cause that is not. Oh, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our actual shelf. This beautiful piece of plywood that I picked up. This is what we're going to use. So I'm going to measure 13 and a quarter, actually. It's 13 and a half, but I'm probably going to measure just 13 and a quarter across. And then the length that I need, which is 15 on one end and 23 and a half on the other. So first off, I'm going to measure this and see how wide this is. So this is 24, so I might not even, so I'm going to only have to cut a little bit off of this. Then I'm going to go down 13 half, and I'm going to cut a smidge above that. So I'm going to go 13 and a quarter. Okay, so we're going to make that cut first. Remember, safety is everything. Actually, what we're also going to do, I'm going to measure it here too. There we go. It's on there. And what we could do is I can actually even secure it if I wanted to with a screw from up top. Now the trick is to not forget whatever you have up there. So excited because now I actually can start organizing things. Now, the easier you are with the wood, guiding it through, the smoother the cut. So what I mean is you're not forcing it, so you're not going to have any push. You shouldn't have any pushback or anything else. My hair is flying everywhere. But that's what you want. You want to go easy with the wood and just guide the wood through the saw blade. But don't get a splinter in the process. Woohoo! And we are in. So we now have 2 shelves put in. I don't think I'm going to put a shelf in this one. I'm debating. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. But this one's in. I'm going to go ahead and screw it down so it's secure. And we're good to go. We have 2 more to put in. This one, so I can put my teas and coffees and things like that, because counter space is at a premium. And that will finish off this one. This one's going to be 23 inches with a 24-inch shelf, just like that one is. And then I have one in the bathroom underneath the sink that I want to put in, so I can put stuff in there too. So, all right, 2 more. We're going to start by setting our screws so that we're not having to play with them, worry about them dropping and everything else while we're trying to put in our shelf supports. curious. So far this has not been level at all. So I don't know why I would worry about it starting now. Because the problem is, if you look at it, it's definitely not level. And it's because it's an RV. So you really can't go by that for leveling. You really just have to kind of eye it for the most, kind of eye it and also measure. So basically 5.5 inches down. Okay, so that's what our other side is going to be. All right, with that in mind, let's get this done. Okay. Woohoo! Next. Okay, we're getting there. All right. Now for the shelf and then to the bathroom. Just knocked up my some little painting, a little more painting there, but perfect. Oh my gosh, perfect. Yes, check it out, guys. Luck would have it, there were actually already supports in the bathroom under the sink here. So there's a support on each side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to use pretty much what was left, but I just want something to put things on, you know, just to put a few things on here. I can always get a wider one if I want to. But that way, I've got a little something as a little shelf, and I might even put a second shelf in. But for now, that'll be plenty. I just want to have some space to put things. Right now, there's all these wires, which if you live in an RV, you understand that. And for whatever reason, the piece that probably went on here at one point in time is no longer there. So just going to secure this really quick, and I'll be done. Amazing what you can do with a couple of pieces of wood and some plywood. Look at that. So much more organized now. I'm thrilled. We're not done yet. I have so many more things that I'm doing to organize this RV. Even though I'm not going to be living in it permanently, I'm going to be living in it for a couple of months. Well, actually probably for about 3 months, and therefore we need to make it livable, you know, especially with my 19-year-old son staying with me, at least part-time anyway. So stay tuned for more organizational tips, DIY tips and hacks, and RV life as you homestead.